I would first like to say congratulations to the boys basketball team and the girls cheerleading team for your success this year.
No, I'm going to eat.
I was one of the 3 senior captains of our basketball team this year, obviously, and I would just like to take this opportunity to share the story of my knee. I was 11 years old when I tore my ACL and meniscus for the first time. I was shoved from behind on a fast break during one of our travel basketball games and jammed my knee into the floor. My naive self took on the challenge with incredible optimism. I had entirely convinced myself that the process would be nothing more than getting an IV, waking up, and going home. After 6 months of rehabilitation, I returned to pursuing my dream of becoming a successful athlete. At the peak of my career, I was averaging over 18 points and 10 rebounds a basketball game, and more than 1 goal a soccer game, and broke several records on my swim team by 8th grade. My freshman year of high school, I was starting and scoring on the JV soccer team, and eventually earned myself a starting position on the varsity basketball team. My 5th grade self would have been very proud. I was not even midway through my freshman basketball season when I went down during one of our practices. As Melissa likes to put it, I tripped over the 3-point line. But really, my knee just gave out while on another fast break, and I happened to land near the 3-point line. I lied on the ground, praying to God under my breath for it not to be real, but I recognized the pain too well. When the results came back from the doctor, sorry. I didn't think this would be this tough. I practiced it so many times and I had no trouble, but sorry. Okay. When the results came back from the doctor that I had torn my ACL meniscus yet a second time, I was in complete disbelief. It affected me more spiritually than in any other way. I couldn't understand why this was happening to me again. I was no longer naive, and I knew what this process required of me now. I went through another 6 months of rehabilitation and returned again to pursue my passion. This time, however, was rough. My sophomore year, I had advanced to the varsity soccer team, but beat myself up over not getting any playing time. Basketball was worse. Every day, I came home in tears for having not lived up to my expectations. I just wanted to play like how I used to. Junior year, I put so much pressure on myself that I would work out at 1 o'clock in the morning and when I was finished with my homework. My dad and I would shoot around in the backyard on freezing cold nights. I would go to the track in the pitch black to run. It paid off in a sense. I got some varsity soccer minutes, reclaimed my starting position on the basketball team, and became a successful rookie on the varsity track and field team. I had high expectations for my senior year to top this one. This past summer, my sister Ashley and I were practicing soccer during the Black Week or No Sports Week. All it took was 1 penalty kick. I stayed standing with my bad leg bent, unable to move. It was August 6th, and I remember this because that morning I had prayed to my brother to just send me a little sign because his birthday was the next day. I know this sounds corny, but the second thing that came to my mind after the F-bomb was that my brother had just saved me. I knew that he did not let me tear my ACL, but I still knew that this was bad. I still cannot believe I tore my meniscus that day. It's not that I don't want to believe it or refuse to, my mind just cannot fathom it. I was out for another 3 months. I did rehabilitation by myself every day. I told Coach Quinn that I'd be back by late October for soccer, and he kindly worded that he did not believe so. Those 3 months I spent out of commission, I debated with myself daily about whether I should play basketball or swim. I created a list of pros and cons which I revised and reconsidered every single day. The issue kept me up at night. The day my mom and I drove into the city to get my clearance, I was singing and dancing the whole ride down. But when we got there, my doctor basically told me that because they had removed my meniscus, my ACL would be more susceptible to injury. That car ride home, I was a completely different person. The haunting question between basketball and swim had now grown to be whether or not I should even return to playing sports at all. I proved Coach Quinn wrong. I was back on the soccer field by late October, and for the first time in my whole high school soccer career, I started some varsity games. In the race to catch up to everyone else, I'd stay after practice to run. I'd get up in the mornings and work out. Sundays were no longer off days. Still, the issue of basketball was undecided and lingering over my head at all times. Most of you probably don't know this, but I actually quit basketball after the very first day. I hid my cries throughout the entire tryout and continuously whispered to Ashley, "I can't do this." I went to swim practice the next day, and afterward called Coach Silvestri with entirely mixed emotions. We spoke for an hour and 32 minutes, and that call honestly changed my life. He was the first person to ever tell me to lower my expectations of myself. He did not say it to hurt me, he said it to save me, and that he did. I returned to basketball the next day with a whole new mentality, to just have fun. I did not rejoin hoping to be statistically successful, nor did I rejoin in my niece's best interest. If I had wanted those things, I would have swam. I rejoined for my sister, for my team, for my coaches, and for my heart. I barely played, and when I did, I usually made a fool of myself. I went from referees, parents, and complete strangers shaking my hand, telling me I was going to be something incredible someday, I went from winning MVP awards and getting talked about. I went from opposing coaches trying to get me ejected midway through games by questioning refs about the legality of my knee brace, to being a bench warmer my senior year of high school. I dealt with the embarrassment of my friends and family coming to my games, only to see me sitting. I've experienced complete and utter loneliness. Now I've quit track and club soccer because my knee has gotten so worn down, there's a good chance of me needing my fourth surgery. So no, my career did not end the way I had worked or dreamed for it to be since I was just a little girl. But in some ridiculous way, I can honestly say that I would not have wanted anything to be any different, and I have absolutely no doubt that basketball was the right choice for me. This journey has taught me to make the most of the things you can't change in life. It has taught me that anything can be accomplished with the right mentality. It has taught me how to wear a brave face and how to tolerate pain. And above all else, it has taught me to never ever give up. To leave off, I would just like to give thanks. Coach Dunn, the Coach of the Year. Round of applause. Thank you for finally running that set of 16 sprints you've owed me since I was a freshman. After I beat you in the half-court shot contest. After 4 years of nagging you, I gave up towards the end of this season. So I still can't believe you ran it without me having to tell you to. I knew something was up when you came up to me smiling towards the end of that last practice that we had. And you were stretching your legs. I'm sorry. That made me realize my career must be over. Coach Dunn is running a set of 16 sprints for me. My career must be over.
The only one he ever ran.
Yeah, the only one he ever ran. You definitely took longer than a minute, but I'll let it slide. In all seriousness though, thank you for never letting me have it easy and for making me a mentally tough competitor. Coach Massaro, thank you for passing down your number 21 jersey to me my freshman year, which I will now proudly pass down to my fellow ACL terror, Alex George. Thank you for lighting up the atmosphere on the bench. Without you leading our epic three-point shot celebrations, I don't think I would have survived this season. Please keep that tradition alive. Coach Silvestri, where do I begin? I don't think I've ever met such a kind-hearted man before in my life. You were always there to guide me, even if I didn't approach you first, and usually I didn't. Sometimes I felt as if you understood me better than I did myself. Thank you for being the coach and the man that you are, and I will miss you terribly next year. Melissa, as much as I hate being in your room, thank you for taking care of me with all of my injuries and being humorous throughout it all. You've made my many roads to recovery much easier to travel, and I am truly grateful for that. Next, my incredible team, the #1 basketball team in our school's history. I can't express how proud I am of all of you. We've put an unbelievable amount of time and effort into this sport we love, and it made us into league and state champs. In the past, I couldn't really say I've ever loved my team before, but I truly do love this one. Thank you all for giving me such an enjoyable senior year. For the first time ever, I felt comfortable laughing during practice and just letting go and having fun. I will miss you all so much next year. All of our amazing parents, thank you for hosting such unbelievable pasta parties and sending us home hunched over in food comas on game nights. More importantly, however, thank you for supporting us every day of this very long season. We couldn't have done it without you all. Ash, you can be a real pain in the ass sometimes. But I love you more than anything. Thank you for being my biggest fan and supporter for almost 17 years now. I'm so glad I've had the privilege of playing with you for 11 of those years. You're a better sister than anyone I could have ever imagined. Please don't miss me too much next year. Lastly, and most importantly, my parents. Dad, thank you for dedicating yourself to coaching me and Ash for 8 years in 3 different sports. Thank you for then coming to every single high school game and whipping out your iPhone to record whatever time we played. Thank you for putting us before work and all else. Mom, thank you for being my best friend. Thank you for listening to all of my insanity, even if you didn't understand it. Thank you for taking me to every doctor's visit over the past 7 years, where we always fool around and make each other laugh before the doctor actually walks in. Thank you both for being the best parents in the world. I love you guys. Thank you all for listening.